All right. And up here at the top right of the map is our Zerg player who is showing some extremely powerful play. He is none other than Enes Hoso Seal. And down here at the, well, I won't say bottom, I guess mid-left, again, is our Protoss player. Used to play random, showed some really good play there. Absolutely epic holding off that Roach Rush and transitioning into air units that Seal was just not ready for in time. It is Startail Squirtle. And you know, this is a really important match, especially I want to say for Seal in a way, because you know, we've seen Squirtle in the GSL a lot. He's been in the GSL several times before. He's been in Code A a few times, and you know, he's kind of had his chance, and he hasn't been able to go too far and become too successful. He's a really good player, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't been able to show a ton of success. This is Seal's time to shine, however. He has been in the team league, has been doing really well, getting far more wins than losses for his team and his Hoso. Of course, he did lose to Bomber just the other day, but can't blame him for that, since Bomber was playing really well. But yeah, actually beat Bomber back in July or something like that in the team league. But yeah, Seal, this is his time to shine, man. This is his opportunity. This is his first time in Code A, and it's so tough to get into Code A that this is his first real big opportunity to really show himself and make a name for himself. So this is going to be really, there's a lot of pressure on Seal right now to really excel in this match. And I mean, I guess in the same way, Squirtle, he's been in Code A before. He's been knocked down. He's gotten back up again several times, and he really wants to make use of this opportunity as well. But pylon block going down again, same as before. Pretty similar to the last couple of games, actually. Very early pool from Seal, followed up by a pylon block, and he actually cancels the pylon this time. Oh, battery almost went down. This time he's just going to depend on his probe. He's going to save that 100 minerals, or 75 rather, and he knows Zerglings are going to be coming out soon as well anyway to kill off that pylon. So, and actually the Zerglings, upon seeing that the pylon had been canceled, had headed towards the main, but then I'm not sure what they were doing actually. Maybe hunting for this probe. He had sent them towards Squirtle's base, but I don't know. Actually, maybe I missed that, and they'd actually scouted the front and seen that cannon and fallen back. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. Anyway, this Overlord is scouting around and seeing exactly what's going on. He sees that the expansion is up, and he has spotted the forge there, all the positioning. He spotted the gateway going up as well. So, looks like the only difference between this and the other two games is that we're going to have Seal get his expansion up a little bit sooner, since there was no pylon there to kill off. And, yeah, it's just sending out a couple Zerglings. He's trying to slowly break down these rocks. You know what? Zerglings aren't doing anything else. You might as well stick them over here. And this probe, ooh, this sneaky probe is in a nice spot to build a pylon up here, which can warp in units on the low ground, attack this third position later on if it does come to a situation where Seal does have a third, which, again, these guys have just been really well matched, so I would not be surprised if it goes into a longer macro game again. Cybernetics core going up here for Squirtle, and I'm actually a little bit surprised that we don't see him scouting a little bit more, since, well, he almost got busted by a Roach Rush last game. Even though he was able to fight it off, it was really close, and, I'm really surprised he didn't send that probe back in to try and scout that situation. He's actually going to send in here and look for the third base, which is not up yet, which is a little bit surprising, and it means that we might actually see this two base. Oh, and there we go. Getting 2 gas in here. Actually, we'll see what this means a little bit later. He may actually have not built the gas on his expansion yet because he doesn't have the drones to really support it anyway. He wants to maybe keep that a secret. But, yeah, I don't know. He's staying on 2 base here, so he's going to have to do something to either tech or, never mind. Okay, there you go. Now he's going to get that third base up. Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense. A little bit later, but he is going to go ahead and get it. And was able to kill off that scouting probe before he saw the third base. So that's pretty cool for Seal. Those Zerglings slowly working away at those rocks. 3 armor on the rocks, and the Zerglings do 6 damage. So they're, sorry, 5 damage. So they are only doing 2 per shot. So taking them a long time to finally build through that. And Queen decides to join in, give him a hand. You know, you should always do the work that you expect of your underlings, I guess, that Queen's philosophy. There's the Roach Warren going up now. And Overlord's trying to come in here and see what is going on. And again, it's very similar to Game Number 1. Gateways going up, the Overlord coming in at the exact moment to spot if it is gateways or if it is some other kind of tech build. And are we going to see that robotics facility from Squirtle as well? He was doing that a lot where he would get the... Oh, never mind, there's the robotics facility already up. I didn't notice it, sorry. And, yeah, another warp prism being created. Of course, again, we don't see... Yep, again, he tried to poke in with this Overlord, but it's going to have to get out. Oh, he did see the robotics facility. I'm sorry, he did see it with that Overlord. Was able to get in there in time. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be everywhere at once here. On the secondary stream, I have to be observing and commentating at the same time. So, I apologize if I'm missing stuff here. But we do have the robotics facility getting spotted. We do have some roaches out here, and the lair is about to complete, so I'm really curious what tech we're going to see out of Seal once that completes. And there's that pylon warping in Zealots, like I was talking about earlier, to attack this 4th position. And where are the roaches? Roaches, he saw the robotics, he was afraid of another warp prism attack, so he has the roaches in his main, and they might not be able to get here in time to save this hatchery. Zerglings coming in are going to do some damage. He's targeting down the hatchery, but actually turns and attacks the Zerglings instead, and that is going to buy him enough time for the roaches to get here. And Zergling attacking. Oh, Zergling attacking that pylon. Okay. The roaches are going to get here and clean up these zealots pretty handily. So very well defended. Doesn't lose very much. Just loses a handful of Zerglings. Looks like the warp prism did come over here and try to go for some kind of harassment, but wasn't able to accomplish anything. Observers in the main base here, just checking things out as well. It's going to go ahead and skedaddle out of there. Just going to hold position, probably going to hold position here in the middle of the map to scout if the Zerg moves out with anything. But I'm not sure, actually. Might be looking around for a 4th. Warp Prism going back home. Squirtle's just been basically focusing on making units and getting these Colossus out. He's going to have 2 Colossus. He's going to have Thermal Lance upgraded pretty soon. Okay, this is again the similar situation to what we saw before in Game 1 with Squirtle. Now I'm going to not call it wrong this time. Pathogen Glands is being upgraded. So this is looking really similar to Game Number 1 right here. And if it goes anything like Game Number 1, then we're in for another epic one. Although this map is a little bit smaller, it'll be harder for... it'll be harder for Seal to get a ton of bases by just splitting the map in half. But it means also that it'll be a slower... a shorter distance for that push to happen. So again, we have the pretty similar build to Game 1, almost exactly the same build actually, because we see Pathogen Glands and the speed upgrade for the Overlords and the attack upgrade for the Roaches being upgraded, finished all at the same time. And there's those Infestors coming out. They're actually mistimed a little bit. They could have been out a little bit sooner and still been out with the Pathogen Gland upgrade, but they will be out pretty soon. And yeah, pretty similar stuff here going on. Both players not able to do a ton here. Stalkers just chilling on the edge of the base are going to stop this Overlord from getting in there to scout. And that is why we see him going for that speed upgrade on those Overlords, is because then he could scout with Overlords, and they are obviously cheaper than Overseers. Observer just chilling near the front there, so you can see when things are moving out. He sees those Zerglings moving out on the map, and he's actually blowing up his own rocks here, so he has a little bit easier way of moving through his army, although he did have a door there. I'm not sure if that was the best move, because now a Zergling counterattack cannot be stopped by a single Zealot warp in or something along those lines. So a little bit risky there moving that in, but he's warping in units at the front here with his Warp Prism. He kept it alive, and now he's pushing in. He's going to try and kill off the Queen, and the Queen gets transfused by the other Queen there. He does have 3 Infestors out on the map. Does he have many more? He does have... No, those are the only 3 Infestors. 57 drones to the 43 probes, so he's got a better economy. This is definitely just a hardcore 2-bait strategy. Spire's about to finish. He's warping units on the high ground now with that Warp Prism, pushing in with the Thermal Lance upgraded Colossus to do damage to these Spine Crawlers, and he's not fighting on the Spine Crawlers because he's moving up here to try and hit the units on the high ground. Roaches and Lings are being produced, but he was saving up money for the Spire, and so he doesn't have the units on the ground. Some Fungals have already been casted. It looks like Seal might go down here. He's desperately casting Infested Terrans here. Is Seal going to be able to hold this off? He's trying to produce enough Roaches to hold this, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. There's only a handful of Stalkers here, but if he warps in more Stalkers, he's going to have definitely more than enough to hold off everything from these 3 Colossus. The 3 Colossus getting so many kills here. 30 kills amongst the three of them. And GG coming from Seal. Squirtle has done the StarTale team proud and has advanced to the next round of Code A. Seal, I'm a little bit disappointed by that, I have to say, after seeing his performance in game number 1, just playing extremely, extremely well. Beautiful play by Seal, but just got hit with the wrong timing attack from Squirtle here at game number 3. And Squirtle advances, and Seal, unfortunately, it's his first time actually qualifying for Code A. First time getting into Code A, and gets eliminated in his very first series without advancing. Too bad for him, but you know what, Squirtle, he's been playing dominantly against Zergs lately. It's not a big surprise, and he's really, really strong. He's going to be a really tough opponent for whoever he meets in the next round of Code A. Alright, well, that's going to do it for this series. We're going to have another great series coming up next, moving from a PvZ, Protoss versus Zerg, into a Terran versus Zerg. Actually, the rest of the matches on this stream for the day are going to be Terran versus Zerg, which is going to be great. It's one of my favorite matchups to watch. Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus Sculpt is going to be happening next, so don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick, probably 5-ish minute break to make sure the players have time to get their gear set up, and then we're going to come back for some TVZ action here at the GSL. I am Moltrap. Come back in a few minutes for some great StarCraft 2 games.